Can you go to me again? Grim.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Tavern with your host, Dale, Sam, Kaif,
Yeah.
and our guest today, Glen.
We got there after about 7 attempts.
I know.
There's so many.
Took
You
a
can
few
use whatever.
attempts, but we made it.
You can use whatever one you want. Like.
So, yeah, today we're going to be just having a conversation with Glen.
Are we?
Telling, well, I should hope so. Why are you here? He's going to give us a bit about his experiences with SR, though, I should hope, and his experience as a friend to all of us, because he's sadly been there from the get-go.
Sadly, like.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I think in Glen's opinion, he'd say sadly.
Yeah, especially recently.
I mean, we bullied the crap out of him.
I'm surprised you can
sometimes.
sit down with that much. I've been beating your fucking butt cheeks.
Oh, I need to move my leg. Like.
No, I like your leg and shot.
You have to zoom in.
How? Lift your leg up.
What do you mean? How?
So, let's just jump straight
Or
into
zoom
it,
in
right?
on your knee.
Glen, you've been here before, but we haven't really spoken to you about any of the similar things that we've spoken to everyone else about.
We would go on the simp.
Simpler things. So, jumping straight into it then.
This is gonna be really awkward. Like.
Yeah, no. But I mean, this is the episode where we brought you on, so of course it's going to be awkward.
Oh, fucking hell. He does this so naturally.
He's good. He's super good at being awkward. Like.
Like, I've been saying, like, recently, Glenn's one of the most naturally funny people I know, but he's also one of the most naturally awkward people I know.
Do you think we should just do 10 minutes of this camera?
Yeah. I think that'd be good. Have a point. We should definitely have a point where it's only on Glenn the entire time, so we can just see how awkward he is.
Right, so...
Just imagine the camera's always on you. No, that might... Don't do that. You might freak out.
I feel like the only way I can is that way, but then I'll just try.
Anyway.
Like this.
Just be comfortable.
Yeah, just
be
stop being
comfortable,
awkward.
bro.
Stop being
Just
awkward,
fucking
man.
taps off, innit? I'll censor out your nipples. I will actually blur out a
So-
t-shirt onto you.
You know something really weird earlier? Like, my head was so mush when we came into the office today that when I was setting up and realized I was warm, I was about to take my top off. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I was about to just go full naked in the office.
It is
without
Most
unsafe.
people have seen them
warm.
before, though.
Well, my tibbies, like.
Yeah.
I don't think most people
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
Tibbies.
Tibbies.
Yeah,
Fuck's a
tibbies.
tibby, like.
Tibby.
Hey, fucking straight titties, they are, man.
Oh, mate, you can't do... What about yours, bud?
It's the same thing. Straight
Oh, yeah.
titties, like.
Okay, as long as you agree. Like,
course
as
I
long as you agree
agree.
that we both have titties, then that's fine. I want to start off, with how long have you been with us? Like I said, you've been here from the get-go, but how long have you known people like Kaif, Josh? Because you were in school and primary school with some of them, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, just here, I've known Kaif since probably about 12 or 13, but we probably didn't speak a lot more until maybe like 13, 14. It's probably like year 8, year 9.
Yeah.
But I knew of him in year 7, so we didn't go to the same primary school.
Oh, you didn't?
Not
did
me and Kaif didn't know.
you? Josh went. to
Just
the same
Josh, yeah. And yeah, just Josh actually.
You were going to say me, weren't you?
No, I was gonna say Simon, but no,
Oh.
Simon we met
No.
Simon later on in
Did you actually?
I can't
Yeah.
I
remember.
thought you all knew each other from like really
I
young.
can't remember if Simon went to the same primary school as me, actually.
possibly.
think
Yeah, I
he
didn't
might
go to
have.
primary school with Simon, so we met Simon in comprehensive or high
Yeah.
school or whatever.
Believe it or not, I can't remember when I met Simon.
It
I
was
actually
in
don't know how long I've known Simon.
Simon started hanging around with us a lot more in like year 10, year 11. So
Is that
like
when Josh started hanging around.
GCSE time.
Oh.
Yeah, because we used to have an area in school where we would hang out at lunchtimes and break times.
What was the area?
H block.
H block.
I
Yeah.
know. What was it like?
It was literally the entrance to the fucking toilets, like.
Was it really? So you're
Yeah.
just hanging around the blogs?
Yeah.
So were you not one of like the corridor? Were you not one of the ones that hung around there?
No,
Do you have
no,
them
no,
as
no,
well,
no.
Where all those kids would just lie in the corridor like all the
We'd
time.
hang around the corridor, yeah. I was a bit of a wanderer myself. Like I'd hang around with like different groups at different times. Like
I'm somehow not surprised.
Dude, school was so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so
you'd walk into like the area and there'd be like kids just sat around the walls, around like it was like a little small room that just led to toilets, and it'd all be like sat up against the wall, and you walk in, and they'd be like,
yeah, they'd stare at you like
Yeah,
like, they'd be having
try and go through,
conversations,
they'd be
and
staring
then
you out.
like they'd go quiet when you walked in, and as you're trying to walk through to get to your lessons, they're just like.
Did you ever have to like walk over people's bags and stuff because they just leave them lying all over?
Yeah,
the
all
floor?
the time.
Yeah. Nobody had any consideration for each other. Like,
Dude, school sucked.
It did, didn't it? It's always really awkward. And you'd think it would be amazing because, like, you're there with your mates. You have no responsibilities. You just, like, go between lessons and stuff like
I
that.
don't know, though.
Just chill out.
I quite enjoyed school
Why?
because, like, it just essentially went there to just hang out with your mates. Like, that's all I really ever.
Mate,
Did in school.
like school is fucked up when a 30-year-old man can still have nightmares about school.
Like, yeah.
Is it a 30-year-old man or
you
just a
still-
specific
I am that
30-year-old man? Yeah, okay.
so you still get nightmares about school?
Yeah, sometimes I get nightmares about exams. Sometimes I get nightmares that I'm being bullied. But yeah, I still have nightmares about school.
And then you realize it's not school. It's the group you're in. So that's bullying you.
And then I go, I'm a 30-year-old man, but I still think a kid could bully me.
Oh, God.
But,
I mean, my job is to get bullied by kids. Like, you know. So
yeah, so I guess I can continue going through. So Kaif was like
yeah.
sort of knew of him 12, 13-ish. Then we like hung out more as friends, sort of probably like, I don't know, 14, 15-ish, give or take. And then that's kind of like later on when we were like 16, 17 was when we played games like more often, I guess. So it's essentially like WoW League. Sometimes, you know, used to play like a lot of Halo a while ago, like back in the day.
yeah.
And then Dale.
Do we have to get into this?
Is he on the real version or the
real
skipped
version.
over
The
version?
real version.
The PG version.
Okay.
Right.
So I met Dale probably, so you're talking year 8 and 9, I think.
How old were
Probably.
you?
So you're talking 13, 14.
13, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Dale had, the main one was science together. Although Dale doesn't really remember being in the science class, even though we sat on the
I
same
remember
table.
school. Like,
So for about a year and a half, we sat on the same table, and then we got split up because we like
Talk too
caused, yeah, we talked too much. We caused too much fuss. So we knew of
I
each
don't
other. I
remember you
wouldn't
being
say.
on that table, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. That's why it's mad.
I
like.
remember some of the people.
You're
There.
saying he's a very forgettable person back then.
But that's why I don't understand, because science is one of the ones where like I would talk a lot, and that's the class that we had on a table. I mean, always used to like wind each other up and whatnot. So it's like, I don't know. I guess you did forget me. But anyway, I remember Dale.
We know why, but
Yeah.
Did you ever, when you were in school, did you ever like the two of you were joking and laughing, and then the teacher would tell one of you off for what the other was doing? Even though, because I always, whenever I was sat with like my best friend in school, it would always be I would be the one that got in trouble, not them. I'm always like,
they don't. They
You fucking
definitely
serious?
always pick one person out.
Oh, mate.
But like,
all the time.
Reminds me of Josh.
And my
Yeah,
mate
so-
was like constantly talking, constantly making noise and stuff. And I would always get the blame. And I'm like, you fucking see it. I'm sat there trying to be quiet, always getting the blame.
yeah,
It was annoying.
there was always like me and Harley playing up in school, and quite often it would be like Harley would be the one to get into trouble.
I think
But-
they pick their favorites, and they're like, "Oh, I like this kid. I'm not gonna like you were the favorites." They're like, "I'm not punishing this. I'm gonna punish the mate I don't like."
Yeah, maybe.
Mate, Josh did me dirty in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Sorry, we'll get back.
Yeah.
go
it's
into
alright.
our next class, and he put his hand on the banister and run along the walls.
What?
Yeah.
I can picture.
So he's holding onto the banister to
Yeah.
hold himself up as he runs along the walls.
Yeah, that sounds like Josh.
He does that. And one of our teachers called Psycho Ebbz, he was like, "Don't do that, Josh." And I laughed. And he fucking lost it. Red in the face, screaming at me, spitting at me. Being like, "What are you doing? You think that's funny, do you? You think that's funny?" And I was like, "No, sir, it's not funny." And then I got detention for laughing.
Josh
and-
running on walls.
He took me up to the sixth form area, put me in front of everyone in the sixth form area to scream at me, to embarrass me for Josh running on walls. I hate him.
That's
I hate
really.
him.
I'm not surprised.
It's really
That's
weird.
fucked
So
up.
like, yeah, so Psycho Evans, I actually really got on with. So there was a point where I just stopped going to school. I'd like wait for my mum to go to work, and I'd be like, "Cool, I can go back to my house and play games now." And then I had two teachers. I can't remember which two teachers turned up, but they turned up at my door, and I was just in a pair of pants.
Wait, your teachers turned up?
Yeah. They turned up at my house, and they knocked on my door. I answered my door in just my pants, because I was sat on my sofa in my pants playing games, as you do. Like, you know, it was just.
I do that now.
It was comfy. Like, it was probably warm outside. So I was like, yeah, screw this. I'm not getting dressed. Or I must have got dressed because I'd left the house and then gone back. And I thought, wait, get all your clothes off, play games. So two teachers turned up at my house and they were like, you need to start coming to school. Like, we expect to see you up there. Like, you know, with it. And like, well, they wanted me to come up with them. And I was like, no, go up. I'll get dressed. I'll meet you up there now. So I sent them away. And then I didn't go in. But obviously they'd contacted my mother at that point. And she found out that I was not going to school.
Yeah.
So then they assigned me a teacher to see, like, daily. I had to visit him like once a day, and that was Psycho Evans.
Yeah.
And he was just really like sound to me the whole time, like really nice to me. I think it was obviously the approach was to be like, hey, let's give him a bit more reason to come into school. Like, you know, let's try and make it feel like, you know, make him feel like he wants to come in.
And they did the opposite to Kaif.
So,
They're like, I don't want him to come to school, so I'm going to scream at him and embarrass him.
I think he hated me just because of my brother.
Yeah.
They do that. They
hold grudges against the siblings.
My older brother was an absolute arsehole to one of the teachers, and he hated me because of that. But it took years.
That's childish
and years.
from a teacher, though, isn't it?
I feel
eventually
there was a point where like I felt like he had my back, because I had a situation where I was with Harley and another friend, and we were trying to leave school, and you could get through out the side of school through like the cooking block, you know, the tech department.
Yeah.
So I was trying to go through it. It was the end of the day, but the teacher there was just being like, no, you can't come through here anymore. It's like, why? Like, this is the other exit of the school. We live closer to that direction. And she's like, oh, you just can't come through. Like, go walk the other way. So I obviously thought, nah, fuck this. Like, so we were walking away, and I was like, oh, fuck off, you fat CUNT. Go and get sacked. And she was like, excuse me, come with me to the like head teacher's office right now. So I had to go with her, and like the head teacher went there. So she was like, all right, you can see the deputy head then. So that was Psycho Evans at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'll leave him with me. That's not a problem. I'll sort it out. And she left, and he was like, did you say it? I was like, yeah, but I was talking to my friends. Like, regardless of what I said, I was having a conversation with my friends. And he was like, oh, go on, just get yourself home. So I was like, yeah, he's on my side. Let's go.
God,
but
that's crazy.
like the guy had my back at that point. I liked him because of that.
Mate, that's fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I got shit for giggling.
Yeah.
I fucking breathed the wrong way.
He obviously really liked Josh and didn't like you in that situation as well. And then he's like, oh yeah, Dale's my boy. Like,
Man, I'll tell you why he hated me more. It's because I failed his class and made him look bad.
What was he? He was science, right?
No, maths
No,
teacher.
he was maths.
Math. Okay, yeah, fair.
Maths
I never
teacher,
had him as a teacher. He was like
he was just your buddy
the
outside
pastoral
of
for
classes.
me, essentially, to like, you know, make sure that I was coming to school. So yeah,
You need to go back. So back to Dale, right? So I had science with him for a few years. Kind of tied into Dale's story, as you can tell. He's a bit of a waste man in school, like. So Dale,
and now I work in a school full time, so I've just gone full circle, and I'm stuck in a school every day. All of a sudden.
Dale essentially, like, I knew of him. Like, we weren't exactly like friends. Like, we'd hang out. It was more of like, we were in the same group, so sometimes we would talk. And then if we went to, you know, sometimes we used to go to like the gigs at the Uni.
Yeah.
Like, our groups were kind of like meshed then, so we'd like know of each other. But then basically, you left school, I stayed. And then when I was in my first year uni, that was when we essentially started playing League of Legends.
Yeah.
Now, not Dale at the time, but I kept more in contact with Harley because while I was in sixth form, Harley was in college, and we used to go down his house to play games every Wednesday. And then we found out Harley plays League, you play League, and then that's kind of how we got back into contact. So we played League a lot for probably like, well, the whole of uni, right? So it's like 4 years. And then when I come back, my parents and Dale's father live essentially in the same street, give or take. So then when you moved back in with your dad,
I moved in for like a year to try and save money.
Yeah, so like we essentially would hang out like every day.
Literally
and then
every day.
even when you moved, I basically, although I live with my parents, I essentially lived in your house. So like we came like quite close, like over that time essentially. And then obviously, you know, since now it's just more games and hanging out with this stuff.
We're like snack bros, basically.
Yeah.
We'd get a load of munching and just we'd eat and watch crap all the time. Like that was pretty much it.
Yeah. And then obviously Sam, I guess the same for most people. You essentially met Josh in Tesco, which was actually kind of about the same time where we connected back with Dale with League.
It was literally,
and that was
the spooky thing is that like the time where you guys like reconnected and stuff
same
was
time.
exactly like it was exactly when I joined in, because I came in thinking that like, because I think it was like essentially like a week or two in between that where I joined in, played with some of them, and then all of a sudden there was like another group of people that had joined in. And I was like, oh, okay, these guys have all, like always been here. And everyone was like, oh, no. We've just reconnected after a long time apart. And I was like, oh, okay.
We brought like the two groups together because me and Harley used to play with like Tom and not like Kaif's, you know, partner
Different
Tom. Different Tom and Matt. Like that was my like small group of League players.
Yeah.
So it was just like, hey, come and join us. Like,
yeah.
And then
it was really weird, wasn't it? Because I remember like meeting you for the like, because with me and you, it's the same with like a lot of the other guys where I met you online first, and then met you in person afterwards, and it was so surreal. Because I, like for instance with Gaz, I specifically remember when I met him in person, because I was in Tesco buying a meal deal, and he just walked up next to me when he was working as well. I was in my uniform, and he like walked up, and he's like, "Are you Sam?" And I was like, yeah. And then after a couple of seconds, I realized who the voice was. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So how did he recognize you? Did he
I have no idea.
He must have seen a Tesco uniform. So like, that guy ain't doing no fucking work. Like, that's got to be
Well, I was on my lunch break, so I was literally buying lunch.
All right, even easier to tell.
I don't know. I have no idea
did
how.
more work on your
He
lunch
just
break.
walked up. He probably was like, he probably got told by Josh, he works in tech. So he recognized the uniform, and he was like, this is what he looks like with glasses, you know, et cetera, and then was just like,
She said
that's
no.
what this
Made it
person
really
is.
awkward for him.
I was really awkward at the time, though, wasn't I? So, like, now, if he did that, I'd say no as a laugh. But back
You're
then,
really
I was
awkward
like,
still, but like in the opposite direction. You were really shy previously. Now you're awkward in the sense of like, you're very forward now.
it's a wonder what happens
great,
over the years,
like,
isn't it? Yeah.
Like,
it's been a nice metamorphosis.
So this is how forward Sam is, right? So I went to see if I could get like a walk-in vaccination today, and it was closed. And you've got to like book for the booster. You can only walk in if you've getting your first or second jab, right? Now it's around the back of the building at a leisure centre that you've got to go, right? And there was a door open, and it was like staff only. Right, and I'm like, I'm just gonna walk around to reception around the front of the building and go talk to them. And Sam's like, I'll just go check there. It's like, Sam, it's a staff door, like, you know, it's open just to let some air in because it's probably boiling in there. I was like, nah, fuck it. I was like, Sam, there's literally no one there. Like, Sam just walks in anyway. I was like, fuck this, I'll leave him. I'm just gonna go to reception around the front. And I'm stood in reception around the front, and Sam could stroll in through the leisure centre. So he's gone all through the back doors of the leisure centre, like all through like the staff rooms, just to get out the other side and not find a staff member the whole way
It's
through.
worse knowing what the inside of the leisure centre looks like because of the vaccinations. Like, you just imagine Sam walking where he's not supposed to be.
Hey, I was saying to Dale, I was in like storage units. Like, there was like all things piled up on side to side, and I was like,
he was walking
Take
down.
some vaccines on.
When he was walking down, he saw a door that he was about to walk in, and there's like a family sat in there, and he was like, I probably shouldn't go in there.
I literally, there was like a staircase. So I walked in through the door after I left Dale. There was a door at the end. There was one to the right of me, and I looked in, and there was like a locker room or something. There was a guy sat there. I was like, okay, I'm not going in there. Walked in through the door, and there was a staircase going up or down. So I was like, I want to go, like, the entrance is down. So I'm like, I want to go that way. Well, I walk down. I look, as I'm about to go through, there's literally a family having like a little meeting and like talking to each other and stuff. I think it was like therapy or something. And I'm like, oh, turn around. And instead of walking out, I'm like, I'm going to go up instead. So I went up and I'm just like wandering around. And there was a sign that said exit. So I was like, that's where I'm going. Just started following through, and randomly, I like walked through the gym, walked through different places, acted like I belonged, and then suddenly
it looked like you belong.
I found stairs, and I was like, oh, I recognize these stairs, and then went down, walked around, and I just saw Dale. I was like, oh, man.
So I was at the reception ready to like ask a question before he'd even made it through the whole of the thing. And then to top it off, like, she's on the phone, she's dealing with some other kids. After she gets off the phone, and Sam's like, this is an acceptable time to like ask my question while she's sorting out.
No, they were talking about vaccines and stuff. So like, I was like,
wait, yeah, but they're talking about vaccines, because she said, like, she was saying, you know, so I wanted to know when it was open to walk in, because it was just closed at the moment, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to know when it was open, and she was like telling these kids, oh, there's no basketball on at the moment because there's a vaccine center there instead. And like then she was about to sort out their gym for them because they're going to the gym. And then Sam just goes, what did you ask her?
I was like, oh, where do you go to, like,
yeah, where'd you go
have
for
you still got these? Like, where do you go for these now? And she was like, answered my question, and then was like, I've got to deal with these kids first. So
but she was in the middle of something, and he was just like, so about that vaccine center, where do we go? And bearing in mind, we'd just been to the entrance of it and seen that it was closed. So I don't know why he's asking where we go.
Well, it's because they were talking about it. She said the basketball like area is closed because of
I knew it was
the
there though,
booster
like,
center, and
the
I was
place
like,
we went.
oh, if she's saying this, we've seen it closed, so maybe it's somewhere else in the building. So I was like, I'm just gonna ask while she's on the topic. I was like, it won't take long. Bam, ask the question, and then yeah.
Did it work?
I mean, yeah.
Did we still have to wait and ask it more questions?
I know, yeah, but
Yeah.
we could have. She could have literally gone, oh yeah, it's just on there, and we would have gone, nice, thanks, bang.
No, I knew where it was though. I've been there obviously. Like.
Walked through there for nothing then.
I knew where it was. I wasn't asking you where it was. I could see that it was closed. But either way, I mean, that was our morning this morning. Like, Sam was just casually strolling through the staff area of the leisure
Dude,
centre.
I like exploring. It's fun.
Like he worked there. He just didn't give a shit.
It's nice.
So you finished with Sam then?
Yeah, with obviously
So-
the people here. Like,
so
I don't know if, obviously touching on what Kaif said quite a while ago, which I think it might be better kept for like another time, but I had the opposite experience with Josh. So growing up, I pretty much like never got into trouble, but I got to experience like doing all the misbehavior stuff, because basically Josh would do it, and then ultimately, like, most of the time we wouldn't get caught, but if we did, like, he basically like didn't care, and he would just sort of like take it on the chin or whatever. So, but there's lots of stories there, but it's probably better like another time if
every episode we have a little segment that seems to be reoccurring of everybody blaming stuff on Josh. So we may as well have this now. Yeah. So Josh or Simon, when you're watching this bit, and Simon eventually tells Josh,
I don't know what to blame him
Glenn's
for.
part where he's been blaming Josh for something. Go on, Glenn.
Tell us how Josh has wronged you in the past.
Go on.
You forgot my 18th birthday.
You forgot your 18th
Hold on.
birthday.
Tell everyone was it told previously? I can't remember if it was told the shit story.
Oh, probably. I don't know if it's been told before.
I don't think it's been told.
I don't know what the shit story is.
Oh, okay. So this would have been.
So
I'm trying to
Josh
think
is the
now.
dick.
We must have been like, I don't know, in the range of like 14 to 17. I can't remember exactly when it was. But
Is this like a really bad story?
Oh, you'll find out now.
I mean,
it's not that bad. Right. So
I was gonna say,
Josh is a bad person again.
I didn't expect this to come out when I encouraged this. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if people know, but like me and Josh were really good friends. We used to like hang out like pretty much every day when we were younger. Yeah. So we were just like outside and nothing was really going on. So we just sat on some curbs. We used to like skateboard, scooter and whatnot. So we had like that with us. And we just, nothing's happening, chilling. And all of a sudden, like, just something hits my head, like, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, I look over, like, Josh is sat there, like, creasing, dying laughter. I'm like, I look down on the floor, pick up his stick, shit on the end of the stick.
Oh.
Right? Actual, and it was his dog shit. He'd
No.
scoop dog shit
No
on the end of his
way.
stick. Yeah. Genuine, threw shit in my
That's
head,
disgusting.
right? So what, as you do, right? So I obviously was like, what the fuck, like, and you know, said some words to him or something. And I can't remember the exact words I said, but basically I said something that upset him, and he asked for an apology. And I'm like, you just threw shit at me, and you want me to apologize? Are you mad? And anyway, we went back and forth to a bit, to the point where he went home. He wouldn't talk to me anymore because I didn't apologize for what I said to him. So
But
he
he
threw
threw
shit
shit
at
at
me,
your head.
and it ended up in him going home, and we didn't speak till the next day.
That's disgusting. What the?
It's such a good story though. Josh throws shit at
So
someone.
that's the thing. I
and
mean,
expects
the
an
summary
apology.
of the story that makes it good is Josh threw shit at me and demanded an apology. that's essentially the summary.
There's no fucking way.
100%. Yeah. I mean, we spoke the next day, like, as you know, no real argument does tend to last that long in this group, is it? I mean, I've never really been involved in
Yes.
one that. All right, not me anyway. I've never
Yeah,
been
okay.
involved with anyone that's lasted longer than
Do
the
you want
next
to know
day.
what the worst thing about that story is?
What's that?
I'm not surprised. I'm actually not surprised at
Is
all.
there anyone?
Holy shit. No, like, that's fucking horrific.
But
But it makes for a funny story though. Threw shit
now,
at
yeah,
someone.
now it's funny.
Was it stuck in your hair?
I don't believe so. I don't remember it being like that bad. Like, but it's
that-
just still the concept that you've had shit thrown at your head. You know, like it's just
I'm actually blown away. That's fucking
good,
insane.
Good. That story sums Josh up. He does something to wrong someone, and then he's like, "Well, where's my apology?"
Man, imagine if I threw shit at you.
I know, right?
You'd fucking batter me.
See how similar that is
Yeah.
to my story as well?
Like,
Throws a minstrel in my pot
Yeah,
noodle,
yeah.
burns my hand,
and then demands an
and demands
apology,
an apology
for,
for
the way,
throwing a bottle at him.
Fuck.
So
He's a terrible
But I
person.
mean, just
What the fuck?
like
Maybe not. Sorry. He was a terrible person. I don't know if he still is, but
I mean, we got the recent Rob situation, you know.
wait.
What's that one?
You know where he wouldn't let him play World of Warcraft.
Oh.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. See, we can't talk about that one.
I was gonna say, you gonna talk about it?
Nah, it's too fresh.
He's not a boy.
It could be on the podcast in 5 years.
Yeah. We'll bring it up with Rob and Josh here watching fight.
but yeah, in
5 years from now, we'll tell the story.
I got like so many stories of where Josh has like demanded an apology for me, and I've been in a situation where I've been like, "What did I do?"
But it really gets you thinking, like, did I do something wrong? Like, if he's asking for an apology.
I remember
I
once.
have
Right?
done
So he basically fucking gaslit you into thinking you were in the wrong. Hey, what the? That's fucking
Mate,
horrendous.
I once, right? I think I can't remember. If
That-
I don't know if it was laryngitis or tonsillitis, right? But I couldn't go to his 25th birthday because I had a fever. You know, I couldn't speak. I couldn't
I think I
swallow.
remember this.
And he called me at like 3 a.m. going like, "You're a bad friend for missing my birthday." And I'm like, "What?"
If I remember rightly, he was very drunk.
I was
then.
going to say, was he drunk when he called?
Yeah,
you?
absolutely. Yeah.
When Josh drinks, he's a very oversensitive person.
Very
Yeah, well, we
emotional.
know from the heart to hearts. Like,
Yeah.
everyone knows the heart to hearts are a thing. Glenn knows the heart to hearts are a
I
thing.
can say with
'cause he-
some
Yeah.
form of
go on.
confidence that he's not as bad as he was back then.
But see,
he
I
has
get.
improved.
I guess I had like slightly different experience because we've been friends since I'd say we hung out in the same group since I was in year 6. So you're talking like 10 years old.
You're sick.
Year 6, yeah. Because we used to. I initially met Josh through like skateboarding and stuff. Like that's what we used to do when we were younger. So Josh was in the year below in school, but outside school, I'd say in the first year we used to like skateboard and stuff together. So I knew of it and we would talk, but I wouldn't say we were close friends. But then probably from like year 7, like at that point we were pretty good friends. Initially driven through RuneScape.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the big thing. We were both like very, very into like RuneScape. So we used to
Yeah.
go over each other's houses and whatnot, playing that like. But I could probably think of many things that he's like, you know, similar stories where he's been a dick like. But I mean, for a lot of the time, there's a lot of time where like he's dragged me out like situations and whatnot. And I know that sounds like soppy or whatever, but that is like true.
except
Like
for,
I'm pretty shy now, but when I was younger, I was like I was horrendous. Like, you know, I couldn't even go into like if we went to a bar or like a restaurant or something, I couldn't order food or like even go into a shop and buy stuff. It's like he would do that for me. Which sounds awful now, but that's how bad I was when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like anything that involved interacting with someone I didn't know, like pretty much Josh would do that.
Man, you guys made fun of me for being really awkward when I first kind of joined.
You were awkward on a different level. So Glenn was shy, awkward. You were like socially awkward.
There were so many awkward situations with you, Sam, where you're talking to like a waiter or something, and we'd all be going like, "What's he doing?"
It's just the way he would speak to them, and you're just like, yeah, that's not right, though. We took you to, we went.
It's like they're
Come
taking
on,
your little
let's
kid
go.
for
Are you on
dinner.
about when we went to
took
the
you
theme park?
Yeah, we took you. Which was it? Drayton.
We went Drayton Manor.
Yeah.
We went to the restaurant
We
in
went
there.
to Drayton Manor, and we went to a restaurant, and
Oh, come on. That
you
wasn't
were
that bad.
vegetarian at the time, but like you were eating this big T-bone steak, like tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
So he had this big tomahawk steak, like I'm gonna throw the steak, like, but you get what I mean. So he's eating this tomahawk steak, and sat in this restaurant, and obviously it's a theme park, so there's loads of kids around, right? And Sam's there like effing and blinding, shouting the C word out, and we gotta be like, Sam, you gotta stop, like, you know, you're in public right now. There's kids everywhere, and he's just like, oh, fuck 'em. But he's different now. I think he understands that that's not socially acceptable now. But
I was just very socially unaware.
Yeah, you were. That's what I'm saying. That was the awkwardness from you. Like Glenn was aware, but he just didn't like being social and being in these situations. But you were happy to be in these situations, but you just didn't know how to act in these situations. Like, it's funny though.
It just reminds me of not that it's kind of like
It was quite funny as well, because when me and Glenn were together, he would get so embarrassed because of the way I was acting.
Yeah.
because
Oh, I
of those
couldn't act.
So
two
you
sides
two
conflicting.
together
I
just
couldn't
made it
act,
like
yeah.
super difficult. Like,
I remember the amount of times you were like telling me off. I'm like, who gives a fuck?
can't act it like.
Yeah, times you've had to walk away, haven't it?
Oh yeah. I've
like-
walked away
Yeah.
from situations many times. 'Cause I just can't hack like the. I can't like even my dad and brother love like
cringe.
how do you say it? Like cringe awkward
Yeah.
TV. That's quite popular. Like think Love Island and that's popular, right? But like I have to walk out the room sometimes.
I was watching it before we started today.
Yeah, I know. While we were all setting up, yeah.
I've edited the last 3 episodes,
But-
so I've put in my time.
What's it called? Of you being awkward. It's not necessarily the same thing, but it just reminds me of like when we used to go out drinking and what you would be like after you've had a few, like because that was funny stuff.
I love
that
what
was.
Glenn's like after a few.
Mate,
Yeah,
I was
I don't
Let's
remember.
talk a bit about what people are like
Dangerous
after a
Dave.
few, shall we? So, does anyone? Glenn's not going to explain himself after.
Mate,
a few,
I was
is he?
overly
Explain.
confident.
I'm
when I
curious
drunk.
as to like if Glenn remembers any. Do you remember going home without a shoe once?
Are you on a what? Like back when we were like 15, 16? Yeah, I remember that.
Did you?
Oh, wait, is that the story that you told where
Yeah,
he
yeah,
yeah.
basically
First one,
You spoke on the first one.
flung your shoe off and we're like, fuck.
Yeah,
Your
I never
man told
found.
you off.
Yeah, I never found it.
Yeah. So, do you want to give us a
I've
rundown on
never
Dangerous Dave?
met
or-
Dangerous Dave.
I mean, I can like from what
I think all of that was before I joined, because I've never actually met Dangerous
He stopped.
It's only been like realistically, there's only been like a handful of times.
I
and
almost met him at one point.
Yeah, and I haven't really drank for like long time. The last time I was drunk was probably when we went to Reading Festival.
Oh shit,
So,
yeah.
I had a
that was
phone call.
horrible.
Yeah,
I had a phone call like that night
Yeah.
from
That
Josh
was-
being like, "You are missing out," because I was
Yeah.
gonna
Mate,
go.
it
to
was
Reading,
awful.
but he was like, "You're missing out right now." He's steaming.
So I think
I'm wrong.
I think
yeah.
a lot of it as
Dude.
well was always so I actually
Oh my
quite
God.
like it now.
Yeah,
but
I remember that because you were like, I vividly remember you were a nightmare. He wouldn't sit. Honestly, he wouldn't sit still. He would disappear all the time, and we'd have to go chasing after him and find him.
But didn't he fill up?
He was
his, like,
really emotional.
2-liter Pepsi with like vodka.
Yeah, you
so
got
that's
you
the
got
thing.
drunk
So
so
like,
fast.
I never.
Mate, honestly, he wouldn't sit still. He would just disappear, and then he started like crying and getting really like emotional and stuff, and then he'd just disappear again. It was fucking awful. It was like dealing with a child that like I don't know was drunk. It was crazy. Oh my! I completely forgot about that. I wiped that from my mind. Go on, tell us from your point of view what happened.
No, so
Well,
with
not
the,
so much that. Just tell it.
with
Just give us
the
a rundown
vodka
of
stuff.
what
So
you used to-
growing up, I really didn't like lager beer.
Yeah.
So like if we ever went to like you'd go to like pre-drinks or something, you'd play drinking games, but like everyone would have beer, whereas I would have like vodka and Coke or vodka and lemonade or something. And you know what it's like? You take a beer out, you open it. No one's been like, oh, that's 4%, pussy, put more in it.
Yeah.
But if you make, why are you laughing?
So I just remember the story, but I don't know if you're gonna be comfortable.
Oh,
enough telling
okay.
it.
But when you make like a mixer drink, everyone will be like, oh, pussy, put more in it, put more in it. So like, I'm not the strongest of drinkers anyway. I get because I didn't drink that often. But then
And you're
also
being
I would drink
encouraged by
strong
everybody
drinks,
else.
and because I don't drink often, if we're drinking,
Your
people will
tolerance
egg me
was
on
down.
to drink.
So,
Go on.
talking about drinking strong drinks, right?
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable talking about the uni drinking story?
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's a good one though. You gotta admit. Oh, but would you?
I mean, I can cut her out anyway if you don't want it. I want
Nah,
to hear
just
about
leave.
it. so
We'll
tell
talk
us.
about it after.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah,
Okay.
nah.
If you're not
Just
comfortable
tell us
talking
now
about it
and
on here,
we'll-
we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Okay.
You don't want to tell her on here, no?
I'm not sure because like
Look,
I don't know. It's quite bad.
I've got an
but-
idea.
It's fun.
Did
You
you tell
didn't
us?
do anything wrong though.
You tell us, and we'll after this, I'll go, hey Glenn, how do you feel about that going out? And you'll go, I like it or don't like it. And if you don't like it, we'll just cut her out. I want to hear it anyway, so come on.
Bang on. I'll just speak about it in general. But basically, I wouldn't drink that often, and then I'd get to a point where, like, obviously, I'm just completely like drunk, and I mean, at that point, I don't really remember, so I only know it from like secondhand stories, you know. And then I would wake up and I wouldn't really remember much. But that, like I said, it's probably I wouldn't know the exact figure, but I mean, it's not that many times it's happened. It's not like I was a mega alcoholic, like who go out drinking all the time. That's why it would happen is because I wouldn't drink that often, you know. So yeah, and then I think you've already told some stories, right? In the past one, or
So
what have you already like talked about?
We spoke about the shoe.
Okay.
We spoke about the group heart to heart, but you were drinking whiskey in the kitchen, and then you come out
Remember
like,
it?
Yeah, that was a.
and then you tried to
Josh's
join
off
in the
flat.
heart to heart, and you tried to sit there, and then you went like, "Fucking hell, who's died?"
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, "You shut the fuck up!" Like,
Yeah.
And then you got up and was like, "Nah, fuck this ain't for me." And then you went back.
No.
in and carried on
I
drinking,
didn't
like-
leave because the same for me. I left because I was like, I'm not in an okay.
you told
I'm
me
not in an okay for that
I was sat next to
conversation.
you, and you literally come over to me and went like,
Yeah.
I'm too drunk for that.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That was
Like
that was
whispering in my
essentially
ear,
the
'cause
thing.
I
like-
was fairly sober. A couple
Yeah,
of people were
yeah.
kind of sober, but you were just like, yeah, no, I'm not in the. I'm too pissed to sit here like and keep a straight face.
Tell the uni story.
the uni one. You want about when I come back?
I don't know, whatever Dale was just talking about.
So I'm talking about you popped off to the toilet.
Oh
You
yeah.
did, you
That's
drink.
the one. So
yeah.
essentially, I went to study away, and then I come back to meet friends who I went to school with, and again like pre-drink kind of thing. So the same thing. I had taken vodka with me, and I went to the toilet, and someone threw my drink. I only found out this the next day. I was using a pint glass. Someone threw my drink down the sink and remade it with like 3 pints, like 3/4 pint of vodka, and then like the rest Coke. As I come back, I picked up my drink and it was straight away. You know, like we like to drink with Glen, and then they did all that, and then and it was. I think
It
it
didn't
was
give you time
someone's-
to think about it.
No, I think it was someone's birthday as well. So like it was a room full of like a lot of people I didn't know.
Yeah.
And
wanna be a
ultimately,
party
you're
pooper.
like egged on by a lot of people, and basically, I downed the drink, you know, fast, basically. And then we all left. Now, so this point now, this is me being told, right? So we all left, and what they said was I was completely fine at the flat. The place we were going is like 10-minute walk away, and like we got halfway, and
Mate, is that like fresh air barrier when you?
yeah,
hit
so
that?
we got halfway,
Yeah.
and then apparently I had left my wallet in the flat, so I was like, oh, can I go back and get my wallet? So at that time, again, supposedly I was still okay. So the person whose flat it was, they just gave me the keys, and then I obviously this is the first time I've been there, so I never made it back to the flat. So essentially, I woke up in the morning on the doorstep of like this student hall accommodation, just like covered in my own sick.
Oh.
And yeah, so I sat there for ages, like being like, what am I gonna do? Like no one's turning up. And then someone walked past who I knew from school, and they were like, you know, what are you doing here? Like, because they knew I like studied elsewhere. So I explained to them, and they were like, oh, I've got a lecture with this person, you know. So I was like, oh, maybe they'll go there. Like, so I went to this lecture. I'm
Still
like
covered in
hungover
sick.
in my own sick. Yeah, that person wasn't there, so I sat through the lecture. It was really like boring lecture.
So
like.
you didn't even think of getting up. I
couldn't though,
If
could
you
I?
get up
'Cause-
and walk out, you put a spotlight on you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh, that
And
guy
don't-
covered in
And
his
don't
own
forget as
sick
well,
is
like
leaving.
I was rough, like so the sit down was quite nice as well.
Yeah.
So I sat down in this lecture theatre. Yeah, like basically,
Did you learn anything?
nah, it was
That
it was
sounds miserable.
yeah, it was not.
That sounds so miserable.
It was
Could you
not nice,
imagine?
like, and then
Not only you hungover, covered in your own sick, embarrassed and lost, you're in a lecture for something you don't know anything about.
yeah,
Sat there.
Didn't know anything about. You learned a lot.
Oh yeah, okay. Basically held hostage there because you're like, I don't know what the fuck.
yeah.
to do.
So then we went back to the flat, and like no one's still there, and eventually people turned
better.
up. So basically, no one could go back into the flat because I had the keys. So everyone had to like find like random places to stay. Like obviously, lucky you're students at the time, so like people have like rooms and whatnot. And then the person finally comes. We get in the flat, and then this one guy comes out to the kitchen, and he like sort of like, well, what's going on here? Like, to see me, and I'm like, who are you? Like, and it turns out that I was with someone else, absolutely no idea who I was with. And me and this other person had climbed through this guy's window into his flat because we thought that that's where we were supposed to be staying. And turns out it was. It was the flat. We had climbed into the right flat. So I don't know who I was. I can't remember any. And he had basically like chased us out. So we had gone in and he had like chased us out and we had gone back out. And then that's why I just slept outside like. But yeah, so I lost the keys. So I had to pay for the replacement of the keys. That was like 40 quid because it had like a fob and whatnot on it. Like, yeah, so it's just not nice. Like,
So the
There's
guy
no
chased
way.
you out, and you got let back in, and he was like, "The fuck is this guy doing?"
yeah. So obviously, yeah, basically, but
That's
that
fucking
was
insane.
the flat. So and again, at that point, it's all I don't remember. Right, so it's all hearsay.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, they could have told me anything, and
Mate,
I would have had to have like
That's
said,
rough. They basically spiked you, then like
I-
gave you
yeah,
keys
actually,
to
no.
go back.
The worst part
Hold
is
on.
though,
They did that, and then after you being spiked and fucked out of your mind and not being able to find your way back, they forced you to pay for the key for something that they caused.
yeah, but they weren't the ones who spiked me. Not spiked, but
Yeah.
it's not obviously
It's
spiked
not
intentionally.
spiked.
They didn't
Drink.
spike
Yeah,
me,
they-
right? But the
okay,
But
swapped
I
your
know what you
drink.
mean. But the
Yeah.
person who did that was one of the best man at my wedding. Like,
It was Gaz, right?
yeah,
Oh my
Wait,
god.
really?
yeah. It wasn't the new people who I didn't know.
It was Gaz.
It was
was
Gaz.
And he didn't
Gaz-
go back with you?
Pardon?
That's when Gaz,
No,
you gave us
no,
one of the best.
They
stories.
let
I
me.
don't know, I
They let
love-
me
I
go
love
back
the
on my
whole
own.
story, like.
Because that's again, like obviously I can't remember, but they like sort of defense.
Gaz, you're an
was-
awful person.
Their defense was when they gave me the keys, I was okay. But you have to remember, I had vodka's strong, right?
And it
So
takes a
I had
while to
just
get into
The
your
problem
system.
is, like, they probably weren't okay either. Like,
Yeah.
they were
That's the
probably
other thing.
drunk
Yeah,
to some degree.
everyone's
So
drinking
the
as well,
basically
right?
judgment was
drank a
off, like.
pint
like-
of vodka.
Isn't the biggest fuck up of this story the fact that they give you the key, right? And you never returned.
And they
Yeah,
didn't go
and they
looking
just
for you.
carried on with the night.
Yeah.
That's that. Like, if they'd gone back, they might have found you before
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
absolutely gone.
So yeah, like I said, there was only one person. Like there was other people I was friends with, but there's only one person there who I would say is a close friend who I grew up with and everything. And that was the person who swapped my drink. And that was also the same person who started the chant.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I mean,
Because at the time,
we all know Gaz. We know
so at the
that's
time,
Yeah.
like-
at the time, Gaz
He
was
likes to
in
get people drunk.
uni, right? And he was very into like the rugby thing of like, we drink loads. And again, it's the same thing. Like I would go there. I haven't drunk in ages, and they know I would drink slow. So then they would always make it an effort to
Stronger.
try and make me drink more, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a long time ago now, though. So.
yeah. Well, I mean,
That's fucking awful.
It's
Holy
gotta
shit.
been like that was at least like 7, 8 years, 9,
10?
10 years.
10
ago,
years
maybe?
ago now,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's probably 20.
10 years ago?
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Getting
yeah.
old now, me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Getting older,
There's something about that story that I absolutely love. It's the sitting in a lecture, covered in your own sick,
Yeah.
knowing you're in a position that you can't leave, but the reason you went to this lecture is not there either. So like you're there, You're, at this point you're there for no reason, but you can't get out of this situation.
Yep.
And like I don't know, I love it.
I find it weird that your your balls can taste.
Yeah, they say
you
about.
have you
dipping
guys
your
ever had
balls
a
in
minty
soy
bath?
sauce.
Oh, no, that minty,
Yeah.
whatever
I
the
can't
brand
taste
is.
it, but I can feel
It's
it.
unreal. It's like having polo dick. Like.
Yeah, I've had
It's unreal.
it. Like I said,
Polo dick.
You know, if you have like polo,
I can't
Yeah.
taste it, but I can definitely feel it
it's grim.
Do you ever like use it
as a superpower.
like in the mornings or whatever, and you've got like your window open in your bathroom?
Oh,
Yeah, and then you
And
get
then
a
like
breeze.
you've got to just like quickly be like, oh fuck me, like that's
the
fucking.
thing is though,
And then stand under the shower with it just blasting your nuts. Like.
is that feeling is nice, but also not nice at the same time. It's kind of refreshing, but also it's like, oh my god, my entire body doesn't want this.
Even your ass, like minty ass, like it's not what you want in life.
It's weird in there, and you go in a mint bath, and like your testicles and your arsehole are fucking tasting. It's
It's so weird, like.
it's like a buffet for your ass.
But that's the Viamone Dale was on about. If you get out and you get a bit of a breeze, it's a weird feeling.
It's
Like,
bad, like it's
But
bad.
Glenn, can we
Yeah.
test something with you?
what?
Can we get a cup of soy sauce?
No.
And
Oh
have you
mate, I'd
dunk your
happily
nut in
try
it?
it. I would happily.
Simon.
I'd dunk my balls
Yeah?
in soy sauce to see if it works.
Should we all
No.
try it? As the
Josh,
next
innit?
thing?
Ask Josh.
Yeah, Josh dunked his balls.
Josh did it,
in,
didn't he?
You put in
Yeah,
garlic
garlic,
sauce.
garlic
but
and
like,
dip,
should
yeah.
we do that as like a little challenge before next week? So we all dunk
We
our
all come in and
nuts
be like, yep, we tasted soy sauce.
and be like, did we taste it or not? And be like, okay, let's have a talk about that.
Just blur it out. We'll do it on camera. We'll blur the bottom half out.
I mean, I blurred a dick onto Ebbs' trousers
You did,
for the
yeah.
last one, so I'm sure I can blur a dick out now.
Do you send that to you?
What?
Did you see it?
It
No.
was like, I'll blur my crotch out on this bit.
Yeah.
He blurred it. He blurred it in the shape of a dick.
I think only one comment made any mention of it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because
We were in it. Yeah, imagine having to watch that again and again. So I blurred it, which is that one. And then I like highlighted it so she could see it. And that's what the shape of the blue was.
Mate, that's hot.
Right. We're going to just chat about some of our favorite experiences with Glenn. And then Glenn's going to give us like one of his maybe favorite experiences with SR. So I'm going to start off here. And one of my favorite experiences with Glenn, one of my funniest experiences with Glenn personally, would have been the LAN Party. Do you guys remember this one?
Yeah.
So quite often we just kind of do like a LAN party at someone's house. And we did it mine a couple of times. And like quite a few people came down. I think Gary was there. All of us were there.
I think me and Tom were there, were they? Was Tom there at the time?
Tom wasn't
No,
at this
not
one.
that
No.
one.
So Lucas came down.
That was the LAN
Yeah.
party at Josh's, Kaif, the one you're thinking
It's
of.
the first time I'd met Lucas. He came down that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one Dale's on about is the one that happened at his house.
Yeah.
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 So we were all set up around the table, and I had my desk downstairs as well. And everyone had brought their computers over, and then it got quite late. Everyone was kind of tired, and Glenn fell asleep on the sofa. And as everyone probably knows, Glenn hates having pictures taken of him. So I think it was Gary that started it.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
so.
entirely sure, but
think it was
ultimately it was Gary and Sam, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
they,
Well, it was on my phone though.
pardon?
It was on my phone.
Yeah, but it was Gary and Sam who were like
You're
taking
filming him
photos.
right now.
No,
Like.
I'm just taking pictures.
I mean,
I'm
he's on
recording.
camera.
It's-
Like,
It's fine.
I know, but it's a bit different.
I
now.
wouldn't say I'm still like, yeah. Do you want
That's a
do you want me
bad
to say, or do you want to explain?
no, I'm going for this. I'm going for this.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Give me best smile. There you go. I got some to edit in.
So
Mate.
Glenn had fallen asleep on the sofa. Everyone else was still awake at
that's
this
a
point.
cute picture.
And we thought it'd be funny to get some pictures of him, but it wasn't just some pictures. There was like 100 pictures on my phone. It was ridiculous. And he woke up a bit, like during it, and you could see him kind of like waking like throughout the pictures. And he got really pissed off at this. He was like furious. And he was like, nah, fuck this. I'm going.
I don't think it was then. I think he was like, if you keep doing it, I'm going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah. But like, you'd woken up.
Yeah.
And like, we'd kept taking the pictures as you were waking up and stuff
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So then you got like angry at us, and then we were like, "Oh, we'll stop." When you were like, "I'm going,"
Yeah.
and then you started packing your computer up, and like,
No. So that
What's going on?
happened. No, that happened. And then after, like, we waited, like, he calmed down. And then we kept, like, sneaking pictures here and there.
Kept going like.
Yeah. And
I
then,
thought it was
and
just
then-
after the big camera roll.
No. We were
So-
fine.
And it was my fault that he did
Yeah.
that because I think I took a picture.
So
of you.
everyone had stopped,
Yeah.
and like we were all fine. And then it was I can't remember the time. You're talking like hour after.
Okay.
We were all playing Fortnite.
Yeah, Sam started again. Sam kept taking photos. So then at that point, bearing in mind now, it's like, stupid o'clock in the morning, like, or whatever. So yeah, at that point I got annoyed. Started packing away my PC, and we didn't have like laptops. It was full desktop stuff. So it took a long time to pack away. Plus there's like, you mentioned a dining table, there's 6 PCs on it. So you got to, get in and out of everyone. And it's like
I
awkward
distinctly
silence.
remember because I was sat there and you were on the opposite side of the table from me.
Yeah.
Literally, it was my monitor and then Glenn's monitor just behind
Yeah.
it.
So it was awkward silence for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes of me packing.
Wasn't Gary the
It
whole
wasn't-
time like, Glenn?
Yeah.
It was me.
No,
It was me.
distinctly-
I can't remember.
I remember
I
Gary's
can
voice, like-
distinctly remember because I caused it. I was like, Glenn, don't. Like, Glenn, stop.
Yeah, but I'm
Glenn,
sure
please.
Gary was
Glenn.
Gary was doing like the exaggerated like, Glenn. I'm sure like.
I'm not sure, but basically
There wasn't that much silence. From what I remember is you started packing her up and I was like, I distinctly remember me being there basically just like, Glenn, I'll stop. Like, Glenn, please. Please, Glenn. And I just kept going. And you said to me afterwards that like, I think you told me afterwards that Glenn had said
Well, let
that
him
he
carry on
stopped.
with this.
Oh.
yeah, so that's what I mean. So I'm packing up, and it took a long time. It wasn't like pick up a laptop in a bag, off I'm gone. And I was annoyed. I genuinely wanted to go home because I was annoyed.
Yeah.
But like halfway through, I'd got over it. I can't talk. I'd gone over it. I was like, fine. I'm like, actually, I'm an hour and a half now. I want to stay. But I was like my desktop was at the front door. Like I only had my monitor or whatever. So I was like, nah, fuck 'em. I'm committed. I'm leaving. And I left and I went home. And I remember I drove at the time, and I pulled up on my drive, and I'm like, why did I go home? Like, just like, why did I go? Why didn't I just stay there?
It wasn't until like afterwards that we'd found out that you were no longer pissed off.
Yeah,
while you were
because
packing up.
because I'm like full committed to.
But that's what made it so funny. So like you just got angry and you got home. Like in our minds, we were like, we've just pissed him off and he's gone home.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until afterwards where you were like, I'd calmed down halfway through packing to my PC.
Yeah.
But I committed so hard to packing my PC that I couldn't turn back.
Yeah.
And that's when the story got really funny. And I was like, okay, this is like.
The entire time while you were packing, I was trying to convince you not to go. I was like, I just kept saying your name over and over again, being like, look, please, like, Glenn, come on, Glenn, stop, please, Glenn. And like, I remember that because everyone took the piss out of me for it afterwards, where like I just wouldn't stop, and it was like that was adding on top of it.
Yeah, but it's like, if
like-
most of the time, if you're annoyed, you just want to be like left alone, don't you? And if someone carries on, it's just gonna like annoy you more.
But
Innit?
it
I
just
don't know.
took-
Normally, I sit there seething with rage for a while, and then I'm like,
It took so long to pack up that like
Yeah, that ultimately that
the
was it.
anger
Like it was,
disappeared.
yeah.
I genuinely still feel really bad about it.
Oh, it's fine. isn't
No,
it?
no, I know, but like
you've
I
done
still
worse
feel.
since then, Sam. So.
Yeah.
I know, but you don't think of what happened now. You think of what happened in the past and how you were, and then you're like, oh, fuck, I feel really. It's like I still think about times when I was in school where I was like a huge cunt to somebody, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I didn't do that, or I wish I didn't do this. Do you not ever have that where like you think of things that you regret all the time?
Everyone.
Oh,
regrets
mate,
things at some
even
point.
yesterday I was thinking of something from like 11 years ago when I was back in school, and I was like, fuck, I really wish I went about that the wrong, like a different way. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Glenn.
So has anyone else got Kaif, have you got a good story?
It's funny as well because I just
my
apologized
favorite
to
story
you
of Glenn was always
for
the
just taking
kicking the shoe
pictures
off.
of you again.
The kick in the shoe.
Yeah, when he kicked his shoe, like throwing up, asking his girlfriend for a kiss, kicking his shoe in the garden.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
Amazing.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Sam, what about you? Have you got a particularly good one with Glenn?
Oh, I haven't thought of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could probably think of one, but I don't know. I can't think of any particular moment that's just got me and you in it. That is incredible. Oh, no, actually, I know one. It was when we were over Ebbz, and do you remember when we were watching, I think it was the wrestling, and then Glenn was eating, I think he was eating Chinese or something like that, but he started laughing and got caught halfway through and started sounding like a pig. Like midway through. Do you remember that? You were like laughing and choked on a hair or something like that.
Oh my god, yeah, I do remember.
And the
He, like,
noise
choked
was
on
horrendous.
that was over my house.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
Yeah.
I remember what started it. You said Vietnamese, and we were laughing our heads off.
Glenn,
We were
can you say Vietnamese for us, please?
Vietnamese.
Say it again.
No.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Hmm?
Vietnamese. Vietnamese. Say it.
Not with the camera.
You just
Why?
Shy boy, like.
Come on.
Okay, there you go.
I know you. I know.
We'll have her on us while you do it.
I've already said it.
Nah, say it again.
Say it again.
Viet.
No. We'll have her on us. Come on, Glenn.
Just do it. Just do
What?
it. Vietnamese.
How do you say it properly then?
Vietnamese.
No, how do you say it?
Vietnamese.
No, how do you? That's why you're saying the same thing as me.
Say it.
No, you say it.
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
No, yes. I don't even know now. Like,
Say it.
Say it.
I don't know. Like,
Please.
Kaif, how do you say it?
Vietnamese.
No, see you're chatting shit. You
Go on. No,
what's
we-
the real one?
We were saying
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
What?
We're saying
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
No, you're saying, but you're saying what I say.
No,
No,
we're
we're
not.
not.
We're genuinely saying
So what it got?
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
No, you're lying.
What the?
That's what I
Is he for
say.
real?
That's what I say. That's why I don't
Vietnamese.
understand.
Say
Right,
it.
Kaif, say it.
Vietnamese.
There you go. Go on, say it.
Glenn,
What?
say it.
Look, we'll all take a turn saying it one by one. Kai first.
Kaif.
Vietnamese.
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 Oh, he said it
You
properly.
said it right. Well done.
That's what I always say.
No, you don't. You literally. I'm gonna go back to that point earlier.
To
where
me,
you
I
said,
just said the same thing.
No, you said Vietnamese.
So I want to be like, that's what I always say, and then repeat the Vietnamese. Like, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Have it right here where it's just slow down Vietnamese.
It's even hard to say it wrong. Like.
I don't know. Honestly, it's more difficult to say it wrong than it is to
So
say
yeah,
it right.
you were talking about like the situation where he was eating like a chicken ball or something.
Yeah, we were all sat
Chunks
there.
on the
and
hay.
I think we were talking about food, and he was like, I think he said something along the lines of, "Oh, I love like Vietnamese food," and we're like, what?
We laugh. He laughs. He chokes on something, and then he squeals like a pig.
He choked on hair, then squealed, and we were fucking dead. We were, oh my god, we were absolutely. This was only like a year or two ago, something like that. It was within the last couple of years, wasn't it?
It was probably about 3 years ago. But
Just
Something like
remember,
that.
COVID was 2 years. Like,
Yeah, true. Good
Yeah.
point. Oh yeah, fuck, good point. But
Yeah.
it was semi-recent. Oh,
but
that's my
this has
favorite
just kind of brought me back to like Glenn being in our places and like stealing our snacks. Basically,
He does it in the office.
he does do it.
That's why there's a fucking meme of
Glenn the
fucking
Step-
Glenn
So,
Jones.
one of my-
fridge raider.
I have brought way more cans in than I've drunk of other people's.
Glenn Deanna Jones.
yeah,
Like.
Glenn
No, but
Jones.
So like one of the ones that stay fresh for me was like we were at Josh's house and I'd bought a bunch of snacks. I got a ton of snacks.
Yeah.
And one of them was like a a Cadbury's bar, like, you know, a decent sized Cadbury's bar or something. And Glenn was like, oh, I've never tried that one before. Can I try some? Oh, yeah, crack on. And like, I didn't think anything of it. Like, just left it with Glenn. And then I was like, oh, where's my chocolate, Glenn? I ate it. Well, the full thing, like, you know, can I try it? But
And there's just the wrapper on the
trying
table.
it means like eating the full thing.
Do you remember when Glenn ate the entire cheesecake at EGX?
And
That's
we
good
all-
stuff. Like,
Wait, you ate an entire cheesecake?
Yeah, an entire cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Yeah, I
A
know he's
couple of
eating it, but like I don't remember that time.
we used to eat the entire cheesecake.
Yeah,
didn't we?
100%.
Like, you would bring
We
a cheesecake
started
over.
doing it because
So-
Glenn was sat there.
In EGX, he was like he we're all talking. Glenn's alone at the table, just sadly eating an entire cheesecake and dipping his fingers in yogurt.
So,
So
we,
the thing
I
that
think-
started that though is Glenn brought a cheesecake and we were like, oh, he's sharing with the boys, and they demolished the whole one. And then for me, we went to Tesco afterwards, and I was like, oh, Glenn can do it. I can do it as
that
well.
sounds like a good
so
idea.
so I bought a cheesecake, and I just regularly started doing this, where I was buying a cheesecake.
Sam
and
would
doing
come, like, he wouldn't turn up to my house without a cheesecake eventually, like, you know.
it. Cheesecake's a boy.
I think the food one, which is quite good, was we were at Josh's watching the rugby, and basically it was Wales v England, and I can't remember the score, but Wales were beating. Wales v Scotland, and Wales were beating Scotland like, you know, well, like they were no way Scotland were going to win, and Gary was in a massive huff. I was sat like here, and then Gary was next to me down that way, but facing the other way. So I had a custard slice, and I love custard slices, and I make a mess when I eat them.
You
It's so hard to
inhale
eat.
them, like-
So yeah, they are really hard to eat though.
Yeah, but you eat them in like the most feral manner ever.
Before you carry on, for anyone who doesn't know what it is, it's like what, like bread on the bottom, basically.
pastry,
Oh,
like
pastry,
custard,
custard,
like that
and then another pastry with icing
Yeah.
on
Icing on
top.
top.
But
They
like
are
but
amazing.
The
They'll-
slab of custard is so fucking big.
Yeah.
It's like this big, and that's the custard.
Yeah,
you know?
it is like
I don't even know how
it
you
is
meant
like
to eat it properly.
75% custard. Like,
Yeah.
it is.
But
So-
like, if you, it's very difficult to eat one of
So
these on your own.
I take the top layer off,
Yeah, and then
set
eat
that
it.
aside, and I get a spoon and I eat the
That
custard.
makes sense.
And then I eat the pastry off the bottom, and then eat the top layer with the pastry because with the icing. I love icing, so like that's always the
So
surprise.
Glenn,
thing,
how
like-
do you eat it?
So I just eat it like, I mean, I don't know, just
the custard just
eat it.
flies out the
Glenn,
sides.
yeah,
does it?
he literally bites down on the middle. The custard
Yeah.
squirts out the sides
So-
like a fucking like squirrel's cheeks with nuts in it. Just pops out the side. And he's got custard all over himself.
So I eat the custard slice. Gary's still in a huff, and then I basically like turn to him like this,
Just remember.
and out of nowhere, Gary just bursts out laughing, and I'm like, "Why is he laughing?" And you can see in his face, he's instantly like Gary again. He's not in a mood at all, and he's like, "Oh, Glenn, look in the mirror." And I get up, I look in the mirror, and I've got a massive dollop of custard on my nose, on the tip of my nose, and it was just like that simple thing just like brought Gary back, and he was like so happy.
Do you remember? I don't know if we should talk about this now.
Glenn, I always loved, like, I'd always walk down to play basketball with you guys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play it, you guys would play it. And you would always have yogurts, and you'd always be dipping your fingers in the yogurts. You'd have an entire 6-pack, and you'd just fly through them. I think Josh did as well, didn't he?
Yeah, we used to eat like yogurts or whatever.
You,
Like,
you and Josh, fucking finger boys, like.
My favorite thing of Glenn is when he's bought Ben and Jerry's, and instead
Yeah.
of having a spoon, he eats it with the lid.
oh, I haven't eaten Ben and
So he takes the Ben and Jerry's lid off and
Yeah.
then scoops
No,
the
I-
ice cream out with the lid.
I haven't eaten Ben and Jerry's with the lid, but
What was it?
It's
You
down
did
the like basketball again. I used to eat, you know, like Cardor. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
yeah.
The ice
Wait,
cream,
the
those
giant
stuff.
ones?
Yeah.
Oh, it was one of
I
those where
used
he
to
uses the
use
lid as a
the-
spoon. He like
the lid.
scoops the ice cream out with the lid and eats it like that.
Fucking hell.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
The lengths Glenn will do to eat food is
Get the ice
massive.
cream, like. So, what about your like favorite experience with SR, Glenn? Like, have you got any particular standout moment?
Apart from right now.
It's difficult on the spot.
It is
like.
very difficult on the spot.
I mean, do you mean like
Maybe some like funny moments at EGX, like
EGX?
something
I mean,
like that.
meeting Daz was quite funny. I mean,
Why?
that kind of sums me up.
Oh, go
What?
on.
To a T, like. So it was the first EGX. That was the first one Daz went to, right?
Yeah.
So I know for most years, like most of the boys would go for like the 4 days, but I would always just go for the weekend. So I turned up on the Saturday, like so everyone else they knew who Daz was and he was in the group and that. And they're all standing outside Starbucks. So I go over to the boys. I'm like, oh, you know, how's it going? Blah 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 and all that. and then Daz comes over and hugs me, and I'm just sort of like stood like this, like, fuck is this guy, like, what's he doing? Give me like, and I literally said to Daz, I was like, who are you? And because I literally didn't know who he was, and he was like, oh, I'm Daz. I mean, obviously I'd been speaking to Daz online like a long time, like, and I guess previously I had streamed with a face cam once or twice, so I guess that's how he knew what I looked like. But then he just steps back, and I'm just like, and then I'm really awkward then. I just didn't know what to say, so I just sort of stayed silent until like he sort of was silent and walked away, and we just both sort of walked away from each other.
Yeah,
and that was
you up to a
that
T,
was
like.
yeah, that was our like initial meeting, like
So
me
had
meeting Daz.
Daz not streamed at this point? Like,
No,
I don't think so. No.
Because he started streaming after he joined this.
Yeah, I had
yeah.
no idea what Daz looked like. But the thing is I hadn't even like comprehended in my head that like there was like someone there who I wouldn't know what they look like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
But
that
I mean,
was,
there would have been a couple of people there that you may not have, like Sparky. I'm not sure if you'd seen him up to this point. It was his first time there.
no, I don't. Yeah, but he wasn't in the initial like group, if that makes sense. When I turned up, when I turned up, it was like I knew everyone apart from Daz, and then Daz was the one who come over and hugged me, like.
Yeah.
So that was a bit awkward. But EGX wise, I can't think. That's annoying. Like not knowing, because we've always had a laugh when we go there.
Yeah.
But I'm so blank right now.
Don't
apologize.
With
I forgot where I was moving on to after this.
You fucked it.
What?
I've
just drawn a blank while he draws.
With this heat, I'm not so, like my brain.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
I'm just like coughing my lung up. I got a tickle in the back of my throat. I can't get rid of. Somebody tickle my.
Should we get her out for you? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, we'll tickle the back of your throat.
Because you told like a lot of stories in the first one, didn't you?
Yeah. To be fair, with the first one, Josh basically went, "I've got 1,000 stories to tell." Boom.
That's what I mean. So I think like a lot of them are.
Oh yeah, I know what I wanted to talk about. So just a little bit more on you this time. Right. So the VTuber and pngtuber stuff.
Yeah.
Just wanted to like a quick discussion about like why you decided to take that route for a while, and then let's go about why you decided to go down that route first. Like, so you dabbled in the pngtuber.
Oh, I mean,
you dabbled in the VTuber.
I mean, now it's just more because I don't like showing my face.
Yeah.
I know like that might sound stupid now because I have
Of course it doesn't.
like shown my face and whatnot, and that's kind of, at least at the moment, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone can.
At the time, it's
that,
more
though.
just trying to make, I don't know, like stream more interactive or better.
Yeah.
Whilst not putting myself out there, because I still am quite scared about the whole face cam stuff. Like,
wait, you've been absolutely smashing it recently as well.
Yeah,
but that's not as scary because it's like I could film a video with you guys, but then I have full editing control.
Yeah.
So it's like, if there's something that I'm not happy with or whatever, ultimately I can cut it out or I can shift the camera up or something. But when you're on stream, it's like, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Wait, you were on stream with Robbie yesterday.
yeah, I know, but like that's.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
It's still, I still
really
feel
nice
like
to see
uncomfortable,
you.
like,
So, like,
and
the timing obviously come about like VTuber and pngtubers were like they've become popular recently. So the timing kind of, I guess that's what helped you make the decision of let's try this out.
Yeah.
So the reason why I stopped is because I just in general, how do I say it? I don't think perfectionist is the right word, but I want it to be like a certain standard. So I tried the 2D one, which I really liked the art, but then I didn't like how it tracked. It felt like it's not much point having it there because like I would be scared and the thing is like super smiley wriggling back and forth.
Yeah.
So then I decided, I was like, okay, I want to do like proper full like 3D or whatever. And then ultimately I wasted a lot of time, bit too much money, and it didn't work out like the 3D one. And then I just gave up basically.
Fair.
So
and like obviously you're trying to get a bit more comfortable with having the camera there now.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I wouldn't say I'm still not gonna try the other one, but I'm not as bothered now because I'm trying like cam and stuff.
Yeah.
Although still pretty awkward and that I like
So-
slowly get there or whatever.
Have you thought of like, because obviously Kaif's got his pngtuber now.
Yeah.
Have you thought of trying to do that again, but with that format as opposed to?
Well, I mean, you've tried the PNG format as well.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
mean
mean, with,
the
like,
the
like
PNG
a-
format and like the 2D one are pretty similar.
Yeah.
So I'm having the 2D one rigged by someone else. So with hopefully the intention of it like tracking better. So I'll try that. But
I meant instead of having it like track you and stuff, just have it be like as with Kaif's one, where it like the mouth.
yeah, I
opens and
think
talk
it's
and
good. But
the
for
different eyes
me
and
more,
stuff.
and this ties into Kaif as well. Obviously, when Kaif plays horror games, he'll just use face cam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
boy.
like ultimately that, not that I haven't really done this, but what I wanted to do was play more horror games because like that's what I enjoy.
But you want to have something.
But
that
then
tracks your
yeah,
facial
if you don't
expressions
have
while you do
like
it.
decent tracking for horror games, it's like it's kind of I don't want to say pointless, but you know people want to see you be scared in horror
It's-
games.
Yeah,
right? So-
I saw one the other day where I was watching it, and they, because a lot of the people with the different expressions, you have to like basically like press a button to choose the different expressions,
yeah.
and like I think the person had forgotten to change off of one of them, so they looked permanently shocked,
Shocked all the time, yeah.
And then they would talk and be smiley, and then as soon as they'd stop talking, it'd go back to shocked. And I'm like, obviously, like a button's not being pressed there, so
Yeah,
it's a bit of a shame because you either have to spend a fair whack of money on it to, well, either spend a fair whack of money, be extremely vigilant, or a mix of both to try and have it be as good, or say I say as good, as interactive as like you actually being there.
Like, do you guys like? Obviously, the three of you stream
Yeah.
regularly. Do you guys feel like you are missing something when you don't have like Facecam or PNGtuber or
Oh, of course.
there?
100%.
Do you feel like you're missing something there? Because
Yeah.
I know a couple of people obviously stream without camera, without anything. So like it ultimately is the decision there of like, oh, I feel like I need something.
I think
that they can kind of like,
interact
personify
with.
in a way. Like,
Well, whenever I don't have it might just be a bit of bias because I've, for the longest time, always sort of had a camera on and stuff. But I feel like as soon as you don't have that, without having something to replace it,
yeah.
there is a substantial difference between like having it and not having it.
Yeah.
And obviously, like it might be different from other people,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
from my point of view,
So, like-
having that there when I'm watching someone is really nice, whether it's like an avatar or the actual person. It's really nice because you can like you feel a bit closer with the streamer, or
Yeah.
the streamer would feel closer with the chat because they can actually see you.
So
I think is a considerable difference between the two. But obviously,
yeah,
that might just be
Kaif,
me.
you don't stream with Facecam unless you're doing horror anyway, do you?
Mm-hmm.
And recently you've obviously taken the PNGtuber. Like, was there a specific reason you decided to take the PNGtuber? Was it the similar thing? Like, you feel like it needed something else there, or was it just like, oh, this is a cool idea, and I really like, this current trend, I guess.
I don't know. Like I never streamed with cam, so it was never an issue for me.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't feel like anything was missing.
Even though people are confused that you never stream with cam, but it was always a horror game thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was only
always-
a horror game thing that I ever did cam for.
For some reason, you still get a lot of people being like, "Hey, where's your cam? Like, why are you doing PNGtuber now? You've always used cam."
Yeah,
It's like,
that's-
no, you've
That's
never
the
used
weird
cam.
thing. I started doing pngtuber and people like it. I only started doing it because I saw Stan did
Yeah.
this, and I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I
it is
saw
cool.
Stan's one. I was
Yeah,
like,
so it's
fucking hell,
like-
that's really nice.
And then I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try that. Then that's gonna be fun. And Stan was like, "Yeah, do it." So I did. And I don't know. I guess people just all of a sudden went, "Oh, mate, you've streamed Facecam like the entire time.
Yeah.
You've been a Twitch
Yeah,
streamer.
so I see it
You've-
at least.
You've never not had Facecam. Why have you replaced your Facecam
I
with a
s-
PNGtuber?" And I was like, "What the
I
fuck?"
see it a couple of times on a stream. Every time you stream with the PNGtuber, and they're like, "Why is he replaced to a Facecam?"
Yeah,
And,
it's
like,
weird.
You
Yeah.
have to tell the same thing every time. Like, you've never used, or you mostly used Facecam for.
Yeah,
horror
the
games,
crazy
like-
ones are like, I guess people just misremember Among Us, but they're like, I hate this direction Kaif's gone. I used to love watching Among Us with Kaif's face cam, and now he's replaced it with a PNGtuber. I'm like, I never did.
It's really
What
weird.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because like people will hate on it for absolutely no reason. it doesn't take away for having something there.
It's an
if
extra
anything.
element. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
If somebody came in, right, and they were like, I ate that pngtuber, I'd be like, cool. But when people come in and try to justify it by saying, like, you've replaced your cam, then I'm like, you're a fucking idiot.
It's okay to not like it, but there's no justification there as to, like, a replacement because there was never a replacement.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing with anything else where people come in and go, I don't like this. And my response is always the same. It's like, don't watch. It's like, if you don't like it, don't watch. But so many people feel like they have to announce this as though their opinion and their, you know, attention, like for them being there and their presence is like so important that you have to change everything just to suit them. I hate this that you've got there or this that you've got there. And it's like, well,
just a weird justifications, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it could be an awkward situation though, because I feel like without feedback, like you could.
There's a very clear difference. There's a huge
announcing
difference
that you don't like something, but like if a bunch of people announce that they don't like something, then
if
horribly wrong, like, you know.
if it's the way you do it, it's like criticism with anything. Where if you come in and explicitly just negative all the time, and you haven't said anything beforehand, like if it was somebody who came around and spoke often or had some form of history or something like that, and they voice displeasure over something, you can go, okay, cool, that's constructive, I can work with that. It's the same with anything. If you walk into a TV shop and go, I don't like TVs, you should sell something else, you go, well, I'm sorry, mate, you're in the wrong fucking place.
Yeah, that's why, like, with the, you know, criticism with the VTubers, like, I think most people either like it or they're just like, whatever, I don't really care. And if someone went, you know, I don't like it, I think it's cringe, I'd be like, cool, you know, some people find VTubers cringe in general. It's just the ones that have to, like, if somebody comes and goes, I don't like you replace your face cam with VTuber, on a fucking nod.
They're just flat out wrong.
Like, when they're wrong, I'm like, I can't take your criticism because it's false.
Yeah, they tried to justify their criticism with something that is wrong, and therefore it's hard to listen to them. Like, I understand if they can be like, oh, I don't particularly like this approach. That's okay to not like it.
Yeah, exactly.
But to justify their criticism with something that's wrong, just
a very clear difference between I don't like this and I don't like this, you must stop.
Yeah.
Because somebody can...
Oh, yeah. When people are like, you must stop, and you're like, well, you know, you make decisions for yourself at the end of the day. If you feel like the criticism is enough for you to, like, want to stop, then fair. But, like, for someone to be like, yo, I don't like this, therefore you shouldn't do it. I'm sorry, but, like...
You must change what you do to please me. And it's like, well, no, not really. It's the other way around. If you like what I do, you watch.
Yeah, I think the feedback for me has been really good. Like, the amount of fan art people have done as well has been awesome.
There's been some cool fan art.
Yeah, I think people are really excited for the actual VTuber model. Like,
I am. I can't wait for it. Super fun and, like, unique looking character as well. Like, it does look good.
I need to send it to the evil devs. Because I went to them and was like, oh, can I do a VTuber based on, you know, your goblin? And they're like, yeah, fucking do it.
That's what it's based on then. It's based on
somewhat based on the evil goblin. I think the only thing I took from it was just the eyes and the ears.
Yeah.
And then he's wearing like a D-boy jumpsuit. And
kind of like a nice little mix of like yourself.
Yeah.
With some games that you were fully into at that point.
I think I coincidentally mixed Jinx's hair on my VTuber as well.
But
someone mentioned, oh yeah, that's Jinx's hair, and I was like, but fucking, you're right.
You really like Jinx too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that subconsciously slipped its way in, didn't it?
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
What?
If you were to have a VTuber, what would it look like?
See, I was thinking about it because obviously seeing other people do it is something that is really interesting, but I don't know.
No?
To be honest with you. It's something you have to put a lot of thought into.
Yeah, it's got to be so memorable.
So, like,
my first thought would be a dick, but you can't have that. So.
I'd love it though.
Just a little
I just love it if like it's just eyes and mouth on the head of a dick.
Could you make something?
It's just the opening of the dick,
but not be a dick.
The opening of the dick is the mouth where
the
it
urethra sticking to you.
That'd be disgusting.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have the two little balls on the side. You'd have eyes popped onto there, and they'd just be like.
Last week, we got Ebbz to pronounce a Welsh word for us.
Yeah.
Would you be happy to pronounce this Welsh word?
Do you want me to write it
Why
down?
is it bad or
And
something?
attempt to spell it for me.
But I won't be able to remember it, like.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll write it down. So I'll just
Hey, writing it down isn't going to help Glenn if he's got dyslexia. Like,
Well, I mean,
that'll be funny though, won't it?
it's a jumble of letters, and he's going to see it as a worse jumble of letters. Like,
how is that a word? Like,
so Sam, could you pronounce it for him, please?
Llanfair pwll gwyngyll go gerich yn drwp o llanty silio go.
Right, he butchered it. as
he
well,
struggled. He's fluent in Welsh. Like,
There's a point in the middle where you have to do it like a rhythm. So llanfair pwll gwyngyll go gerich yn drwp o llanty silio go.
Why are you butchering that middle bit though?
I'm not. I just run out of. I
I
run out of air.
Stop
Take a
doing
deep
this so
breath.
weirdly.
Bigger breath.
Llanfair pwll gwyngyll go gerich yn drwp o llanty silio go.
He does every time, doesn't he? But
Yeah, it's because I
Kaif,
can't
can you do
do
it?
that.
I mean, I can't even do it properly. Llanfad, pwll chwyn gilgi go get it from Jordan, but the city go.
Llanfair pwll gwyngyll go gerich yn drobol Llantysilio go.
You fucked it.
it's the longest street name in the world. It's in
Llanfair.
Wales.
Yeah, you said chwyn drobull and
Yeah,
just
no, that was
stopped.
just so,
Like, it's something that you'd have to like memorize. You
It's
know?
it's the point where it goes
Llanfair.
chwyn drobull. Oh god,
It's
I can't
drobol.
even- Yeah, no.
Yeah. Chwyn dro-
No way, no.
Llanfair
Llanfair
pwll
pwll gwyngyll go gerich.
Go.
And then it's that
Yeah.
point, the chwyn drobull llanty silio go.
It-
But it's going from the one to the
So
other.
it's weird. It's said as though it's essentially a split word.
Yeah.
Drobol Llantysilio.
No, it's the ch bit. It's
Go
the
gerich.
chwyn drobull. No, it's llanfair pwll gwyngyll go gerich. It's that part. Chwyn drobull llanty.
Go gerich chwyn
It's
drobol.
going from one to the other.
Yeah. But
It
it's
confuses
like
my brain.
Let's do a Glen's
gerich
here though.
chwyn drobol.
Anyway, yeah, go for
You
it.
have to unlock your phone again.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Because I just won't know. So the
Just try.
clan is like the first bit, right?
Yeah.
Clan fair. I mean,
Just go. Keep going.
I don't know. I don't know what PW is like.
Push.
Puch.
PW.
Do you remember double? You're Welsh.
P-
Double,
PW,
yeah, I
double
failed
L
Welsh
It's
miserably.
PW double L. Push.
Puch.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Your phone keeps going off. Like clan fair. Puch.
Yeah.
What's after that?
Gwyngyll.
Yeah, reading it's not gonna help. Like,
Yeah, it's not even as funny as I thought.
Llanfair
it's
pwll.
not good. No, but that's what I mean. It's so far
Oh,
away.
you've
it's not really
deleted
funny,
it
like.
anyway.
Oh, so-
Yeah. Llanfair pwll gwyngyll go.
The only
gerich
way
yn
I'd be able
drwp
to
o
do it is
llanty
if you keep
silio
saying
go,
it,
go,
and then
go.
I,
There
do
we
you know what I mean? I say like the first three
reading
bits,
it,
then the next bits.
yeah. I never learned how to say it. I always just like try to teach myself how to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that weird bit in the middle. The Llanfair pwll
Did they
gwyngyll go
not just
gerich yn
love
drwp o
staying here
llanty
in
silio
Welsh
go,
schools,
go.
like?
No, I actually never learnt that it was a thing until I basically almost left school.
I
And
went.
people were like, "Oh my god, there's this thing," and I went, "Okay."
I've been there, like the train station with the sign there and everything. Like you can get a picture in front of the sign.
I bet the sign goes from one platform to the other with how
It's
big
like
it
a
is.
Yeah, it's it was
Yeah.
pretty big. But it's like I
Stuff.
think it's down. So
What was your favorite game to play with SR?
Game.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably like WoW, probably.
Yeah. Which expansion?
Previously.
your favorite game was WoW. I was expecting.
I think it was to play with us.
No, but like,
Among Us or
I was
something, like,
expecting
you know.
Among Us after how
No.
much content you made with it.
why would it be Among Us?
He fucking hated Among Us. He
Yeah,
just
true. He just did it for the money, didn't he?
The money.
I mean, do you got to remember, you all played Among Us in December. I didn't play it till March.
True.
It was
good
that
point.
late when you
Yeah,
started.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Play,
it
I
was
didn't
a
play
while.
it till March.
Yeah.
I think
I
it
was
only started
expecting
kicking
you
off
to
for
be
you when
there,
it
like,
was like
from the
September.
get-go.
So I swapped jobs. I moved from Wales to London, and while swapping jobs, I had a month off work. So I made
So-
so I made some YouTube videos.
That actually leads to a point I was going to ask before we ended. How did you get into, for anyone who doesn't know, how did you get into content creating?
Well,
As how does a very awkwardly shy person get into making content and having their own channel and doing it full time from an office?
yeah. So let's start again. That's basically what I was saying.
Oh, yeah, that's why I said that leads me to this. So.
So I moved from Wales to London. I had a month off work. Didn't really have much to do. I think it was as COVID hit. So I was always interested in, like, I'd made a couple of YouTube videos before. So I made 2 YouTube videos. I made 2 League of Legends videos. So it was like us lot playing League. At the time, Daz was also making YouTube videos. I think he'd been doing it give or take 6 months. And he made, I can't remember the exact numbers, but say his videos would get like early on like a K views or something, like 1,000. his Among Us one got like 10 or 15 or something. And then I was like, I want to play that game. So that's why I played Among Us. So I played it like 3+ months after you guys had already played it. And then I made the first one, which was when like I didn't know anything. So that was like, I think it was an idiot on board, I called it. Because it was like, it was like I pressed the button and I was like, what does this do? And all that sort of stuff. And then, I mean, after that point, it was more so the growth of Among Us as opposed to like kind of what I was doing, if that makes sense. So then Among Us went crazy. And then all like my videos got like stupid views. And
I loved your Realm Royale video.
Oh, yeah,
You came to me and you were like, hey, can I clickbait Realm Royale by saying mounts in Fortnite? I was like, you can.
I think it might still. That's probably still on my channel.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it's actually a screenshot from the game, and then from one corner to the other, it's got like mounts in Fortnite. And that's
So was Realm Royale
that was the chicken one.
Battle Royale?
Yeah, it's the chicken one.
That was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
We enjoyed that a lot, didn't we? Where you were, like you died and you were a little chicken just running around escaping.
Where did we stop?
Oh,
I can't remember. But yeah, that was essentially
you moved on to the next game.
Yeah, probably.
So then with the videos getting like at that time like silly views, then I quit my job and then I've been doing
You were a
this.
biochemist, right?
Chemical
engineer, sorry.
Yeah.
Biochemist. That's not, what the fuck. Chemical engineer.
So yeah, I basically got my chartership the same time that like I
Yeah,
quit.
I remember you saying.
So
But,
I probably wouldn't have quit if I didn't get that.
But I mean,
First.
once you have that,
Yeah,
you got it. Like it was nice
Probably
to get
came
to
at
that
a
point
perfect
in your
time.
job,
yeah,
and then you can come back to it if you need to, kind of thing, or if you want to,
yeah. But I think Fortnite was the first. So the first few videos I made, I wasn't even in them. They were like compilations of the clips across people's channels. So I made like a Fortnite one. So because this was when like Sam streamed, Josh streamed, Stan streamed. So it was like their clips of Fortnite.
Yeah.
I think PUBG, and then as Kaif said, Realm Royale, and then I did a couple of WoW ones, and then I stopped, and then it was League.
Yeah.
Mate, it's so funny that even the seagulls are laughing.
Yeah, my League videos, yeah, they didn't do very well.
The
To be
League
fair,
videos
League
didn't
does
do well.
anyway.
Pardon?
League just it doesn't.
No,
do well
they
unless
didn't.
you're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a very known
Yeah.
So,
Unless you're
uh,
Tyler
player,
White.
It's like that for quite a few games as well.
Yeah,
like,
same with Tarkov, isn't it?
Tarkov,
Yeah.
no way of me breaking into that.
It's because they're just so like saturated with like there's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
existing
Yeah, I don't know.
People are very
like-
loyal to the people who like play those games as well. Like, if ever you want to watch something to do with League, you watch Tyler One, or you
Yeah.
watch any of the other ones. that are big.
YouTube has changed as well. Like, if most people on my channel probably don't watch Tarkov, so it's not a case of they're not clicking on my video. It's that YouTube doesn't even show them the video,
Yeah.
even though they're subbed. Like YouTube
Mad,
goes,
man.
this person doesn't watch Tarkov. I'm not gonna show you Kaif's Tarkov video.
Something tells me that like people who watch Tarkov videos aren't looking for comedy in Tarkov. Like,
They're just looking to
I mean,
be sweaty,
you
try
never know,
hard.
because
You'd be
with-
surprised.
Like with World of Warcraft, nobody was doing raiding videos,
True.
and then I started doing them, and people started watching them.
It's the same
There's a
if you
niche.
look at like CS:GO, Warzone, those more serious FPS, Valorant as well. Some of the biggest creators are the ones. It's just like funny moments,
You should
Yeah.
do the thing that happened, I think it was with Markiplier's channel, where like, I think it still does it now, but for whichever game he plays, whatever he changes the game to under his channel, for some reason it always reverts to Five Nights at Freddy's. So every video
Oh, do you know what?
is
That's
Five Nights
actually-
at Freddy's.
That's fucking brilliant.
You should probably do that where you make it one, even though you title it something different, and everybody who watches it, instead of it being, I don't know, like with Among Us or something, it's
Yeah.
like they're not watching Among Us, they're watching Kaif, but they watch Among Us. So it always
Dude,
suggests
that's
those videos.
fucking brilliant.
so Among
I
Us
don't-
under every video.
I don't
That's
think
fucking brilliant. Because
he
like
doesn't
then,
plan to do it. It just happened. And I was like, that's a really smart, like, fucking just do that.
Because then it'd be like, people, if they want to watch my content, and the YouTube algorithm is being fucking stupid,
They'll just
You'd be like,
recommend it. To them.
Hey, Tarkov, Among Us.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, Five Nights at
Yeah.
Freddy, Among Us.
Yeah, it's
PUBG,
literally
Among Us.
every single game he played. It says like Five Nights at Freddy's under it.
I noticed
it's
that.
mad.
I thought that. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but like, you know, when I play stuff like Sinister Night, it defaulted to Dead by Daylight. When I played
Weird,
VHS,
yeah.
it defaulted to Dead by Daylight. And a lot of horror games I play
It
default to Dead
defaults.
by Daylight.
It's the same with
weird,
the,
isn't
you know, the like the reaction videos. So I don't fill a game in, but then YouTube will just
We'll just put one
will
in
put
there.
something in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
Yeah, so
what
just
do they have to like?
put Five Nights at
Wait,
Freddy's
I
for
mean,
every
have
with
game.
your
Something that try
reaction
to recognize
videos,
the
that's a completely different topic.
yeah, but
Do
they'll
you put it under gaming?
pardon? No, so some of them are under gaming. The ones which are
Gaming related
gaming
to
are under gaming.
Okay.
But it's the same as, so if you look at like, you know, the Sidemen, for example,
Yeah.
like they can post videos that have nothing to do with gaming, but they'll get on gaming trending.
Yeah,
So even if you don't put anything in, YouTube will just like
auto do it.
auto kind of like tag it, if that makes sense.
Maybe that's what's happening.
Do you think people would be mad if like every game I put in was just Among Us?
No, it would just
Probably
become
Among Us
a.
tag there anyway.
So at that point, it would just become a running joke. Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, the new Among Us update looks good, and you're playing, I don't know, for Tarkov or playing
Yeah.
Final Fantasy
I mean,
or some shit.
like that goes to say, like, if you watch my channel, I think a lot of people don't actually know that they're not even subscribed to my channel.
Really?
Yeah. There's so many YouTubers I watch I'm not subscribed to.
Yeah.
There
But
are-
I see
yeah.
every single video they do.
There's a lot of them that I've seen where they bring up the statistic and stuff, and they're like,
Yeah.
only 20% of the people who watch my video are subscribed, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
quite
There's,
wild.
It is surprising. Like,
There's a channel that I've been watching for probably like 4 or 5 years now that they go to festivals and like they just vlog the festivals, and they recently hit 100K subscribers. And I don't comment on videos often, but I was going to comment being like, oh, you know, it's so cool you hit 100K, been watching for a while or whatever. But I realized I'm not subscribed to them.
yeah.
So then if they click on it, they can see if you're subscribed or not.
Yeah.
So then they probably just
You're
be
the
like,
problem.
nah, jog on, mate. You're just like
You just
trying to like
Yeah.
get people to see a comment or whatever. But yeah, it's the same thing. Like, because you don't need to anymore, because YouTube doesn't use the subscription thing
Well,
to
yeah.
push
Once
people
you
videos.
start watching them,
You'll
they
get
start
pushed to videos
showing up,
anyway,
like,
yeah.
so
Well, I started watching
sometimes
videos
it's
to
easy to
one
forget.
channel, and whenever I refresh my homepage, like a video from that channel is always at the top.
Yeah.
Whatever I've just watched, it will always suggest that, even if I'm not subscribed.
Yeah, I mean the problem is
Which
like
is wild, isn't it?
you can watch like a gaming YouTuber, right? You can watch them and then it'll start showing you videos from them in your feed, but like it won't show you all of them. So like say for example you watch somebody for Among Us, it'll start showing you a lot of their Among Us, but it won't show you, for example, I don't know if they play Warzone, it just won't show that.
Yeah, it makes
And
sense.
it's quite annoying because it's hard to have a variety of stuff on your channel when YouTube's like, not gonna bother.
Yeah.
Oh, we could show the people who watch your channel all the time this video, but we won't because it's a different game.
So, just on the topic of YouTube as well, how I see a lot of people talking about like make sure they like the video, etc. And you see it in like every video where people are talking about it. Like, how important is that actually?
Not at all.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
really?
it's probably a similar situation to this, though. Like, you know, make sure you subscribe. It's just trying to remind people to subscribe, though, right?
Yeah,
Because people
Because
say
you get so
if
many
you
people to
comment, if you
watch.
like and comment and all that, it apparently helps the video massively. But
Wasn't
like,
that like
I
the
think-
old algorithm, though?
I think that's the old algorithm. I don't know. Like nobody really knows how YouTube works. I
Yeah.
imagine if you get people to like your video, you're more likely to pop up in their feed.
Yeah.
Makes
And if
sense.
they
to remem-
subscribe, you might be more
You have
likely
to
to pop up.
remember that like YouTube themselves
those
don't
lying
really know.
bastards.
Like,
What?
the YouTube themselves don't really know.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like, if
last time I had a
Wait,
partner
really?
manager, they were like, "Oh, those Among Us does well. You should stop doing this stuff and just do Among Us." And I was like, "No, like what? No, wait, no." They said, "No, this is even earlier
It was
than
WoW.
that." They said,
It was
"Do
WoW.
They
Long
said,
time
"Stop."
ago, yeah.
They said, "Stop doing the other stuff you're doing and just do WoW videos." And I was like,
Wait, so who
that-
is this now?
"Partner manager for YouTube. Want to hit 100K?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, "Sack everything off that isn't WoW." That means I never would have played Among Us.
well, the funny thing is,
Never would
is
have played
that
SCP.
doing the opposite of that, because obviously you played like For Honor, you played SCP,
Yeah,
and Among Us and everything like that. That definitely helped.
yeah, they shot me up.
Oh,
That was
absolutely, like,
huge. Going
yeah.
from like one to the other and becoming more variety was actually really
oh, yeah,
beneficial.
Among Us did.
and
like,
if you did stay with WoW even to now, Yeah, it'd be fucking shit. You'd probably because
I'd
it's
hate
in
my
such a poor state at the moment
So WoW,
that you'd be ruined.
obviously WoW started you off, but then it was For Honor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then what came after For Honor?
Uh,
FCP,
it was,
right?
PUBG
No.
did it quite well.
Yeah.
PUBG weirdly did bad, but after like several months, they would shoot up. Whoops. And yeah, then after that, it was SCP. That came out of nowhere. And it was the same for Among Us as well.
Yeah.
Like, Among Us was a really weird one. Like they had 100 concurrent players when we started playing in December. And I even looked at that and I was like, nobody is playing this game.
Yeah.
But I was of the mindset, and I still am, where I'm like, if somebody recommends me a shit game, I'll
try it
still
anyway.
I'll still probably play it.
Yeah.
And you know, if the game is shit, we can still
Have
laugh
fun
at the shit
with
game.
laughing at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty, like loads of games we've played, and we've thought, God, this is awful.
Yeah.
But we make the fun ourselves.
Yeah, I
then,
always get like
you
viewers
know.
that are like, I'm so sorry, I recommend this, and I'm like, it's fine, it's funny.
It's kind of mad to think that, like, as you said, there was only like 100 concurrent people playing it, and then we started playing it. And obviously, I personally think we had some small part to do with that taking off. Not like a huge,
I've always said it.
but some small part.
Pluto is the guy who recommended it to Soda Pop, and it just how
Yeah.
did Pluto find it? That's
Yeah.
basically it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's mad, like really mad how we went from playing it for the first time all the way back then and really enjoying it. And basically that became one of our mainstays where we were just playing that week after week. To like earlier in the week when we met the devs and they were like genuinely such wonderfully nice people. And like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like how far that game has come from, you know, you getting randomly recommended it to now.
Yeah.
Like,
So it was
it's
just
fucking
like
insane.
a viewer recommended it to you.
Yeah, some guy commented on my videos like several times. Like
Oh, okay, so they were really trying to get you.
Please
They-
play Among Us.
they said like every video like please play Among Us, and Among Us at the time had like a really bad trailer. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't, when I watched it, I was like, I cannot figure out what this game is, because we had played Deceit at the time,
Yeah.
so we played a lot of Deceit.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, oh, if you like that deception game, you'll like this one. So after a while, I was like, guys, look at this. And I think everyone was just like, what the fuck is this game?
Yeah.
But we played it anyway, and yeah.
It basically started its own sort of genre, really, didn't it? Because it was, like,
Yeah,
I know you
somewhat.
said we played Deceit, but like, the whole having meetings and doing things
Yeah.
secretly like that.
I mean, the deception
Like
genre
every
was
game.
there. It just really took off with this.
Yeah,
thing,
massively.
it made
Because we
it
used to
something.
play Deceit, Enemy on Board, and I think there was one more as well.
Enemy on Board was before Among Us, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So
Good
Deceit,
God.
Enemy on Board. I think there was a third one as well, but all of those that came before Among Us made the same mistake,
Where they tried to copy Among
where
Us.
they tried to be more like Among Us after Among Us blew up, and it was
Yeah.
like, not only was it not well implemented, we were also like, if you're trying to make your game like Among Us, we're just gonna play Among
Yeah.
Us.
So like
Yeah, exactly.
everyone we went back to play, I think we were all of the same mind of like, this feels worse than the previous variation of the game.
Yeah.
Enemy on Board felt awful once they'd made the
Mhm.
changes. Deceit, I really didn't like the new
The
game
new
mode they
Deceit
tried
was
to do.
dreadful.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
new
It was
Deceit
so
really
bad.
Because I didn't play that one, but I heard you guys talk
Oh,
about
it was
and
like
just really
it
shit,
wasn't
wasn't
just they added the meeting and stuff, which was bad, but like they changed it where you had like kind of you as the bad guys, like you couldn't die or something in certain parts of the game, and it was just the bad guys just won like
Oh.
every single time.
Yeah, we actually figured it out quite quick. Where it's like, if you didn't kill a bad guy by the second day, you would just automatically lose.
Really?
Yeah, because they
it was
could
like
turn.
a shared blood system.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
like, even if you spent all of the second level chasing someone down, they could keep drinking the blood, and if they died, the blood just went to their partner.
Oh.
So like, you could kill, essentially on the last night, if you were the solo killer, you could kill 2 people. Then when the exit door is opened, you can kill 1 person. So you could kill 3 people in a single night of the 4 innocents.
So it got
really bad.
It got to the
fuck.
stage
Yeah.
where before the end of that day, if we hadn't caught anyone, we'd just be after about right, who's dying then? Because
Yeah.
if you didn't randomly shoot your shot, you would lose anyway. Like, so it was really silly. Like,
There were people who tried to justify it. They're like, yeah, but like, it's not our fault that we have like a bad partner getting caught so early. Like, they were trying to justify that the one killer killing pretty much all of the innocents in one night
Was okay.
justified if you had a bad teammate. But it's like, but that's how those games go. That's how social deductions go.
Or if you have a good teammate,
you
also
don't
lose.
If your partner is bad at social deduction, you don't give the other partner a boost for them being
exactly.
bad. You know, it's like that's just how the game goes.
That's why I really like Dread Hunger, for instance, because it's a deception game in a somewhat similar formula, but like it completely changes things up, and it's just whenever we've played it, like how many times have we played on the exact same map on that?
Loads.
That's fucking loads, isn't it? But like every single time.
Really big on that though. Like
they're not huge.
They're not massive.
Yeah.
Compared to like
they
most
look
other
big.
social deduction games,
And then when you play it,
Yeah.
the map isn't actually that big. But like the amount of times we've played on it, and I'd play it tonight. Like I'd be like, hey, let's fucking go, because it was really fun playing it. Because like the entire game itself is really fun. And it's really nice to have something similar to like in that vein, like a deception game, but mix things up to the degree it does.
I think Sinister Night took the way New Deceit plays and actually implemented it well.
Yeah. Plus it's gruesome as shit.
It is gruesome as shit.
Just do the like, this has been great. Where we end it.
Yeah.
What?
Do that then.
Okay. This has been great. Thanks for watching.
Right. Thank you for watching the new episode of the Tavern. And thank you all for being here.
Thank you very much, Glenn.
Thank you. Kaif, thank you very much. Thank you too, Sam.
This has been great.
Thank you, Dan.
This has been great.
This has been.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Later.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.